Welcome to my brand new podcast, I Disagree. Have you ever had a friend that is so lost to the world of sports, but they don't know that? They think they know something about sports, and they come talking to you about it and talk so much nonsense. I don't even call it just nonsense, I call it the nonsense. They speak the nonsense. Well, this is what this podcast is about. This podcast is about me arguing with this guy who's speaking the nonsense. My name is Jabari Grant.
And my name is Albert Grinch.
The first thing we're going to talk about on my brand new podcast, I Disagree, is the Europa League final. What we're going to talk about is the Europa League final. I'm going to let you shoot first on that one.
Well, as you can see, Man United lost, like I predicted. You can't pronounce his name.
Unai Emery?
Yeah. Thank you for that. He's had a very good record in the Europa League. And your coaches don't know nothing about football.
That it?
Yeah.
What's your point? I'm not going to dispute Unai Emery's excellence in the Europa League, but I will say that I disagree with the fact you're blaming this on Manchester United's coaching staff. I'm going to be honest with you. I think Manchester United is just a bad team. Manchester United is an awful team. They're not a good team.
Well, I'll argue with there. You all have Pogba, Rashford, Cavani, in the midfield you all have Bruno. There's someone argue here, they're saying he's the top 10 midfielder in the world. So it was a top 3. Look at that. Why that 5 good players being assigned and the rest?
Okay, first of all, Bruno is not the top 10, top 3 midfielder in the world. He's the best midfield player in Manchester United's team. That's why he looks so good, because he's the best in a bad team. Pogba, I'm not going to dispute his talent, but it's not working at Man United. He's just not having a good time at Man United. It has nothing to do with his talent. I will never say that he's not good. He's a fantastic player. It's not working at United. Rashford is young.
I don't want to hear that.
Rashford is young.
I don't want to hear that.
And Cavani's old. Rashford is young. Cavani's old. Listen, I grew up watching Manchester United. I don't look at any of these guys. I don't look at Pogba and go, wow, Paul Scholes. I don't look at Cavani and go, old Cavani and go, Ruud van Nistelrooy. I don't look at Rashford and mistake him for Rooney, or look at De Gea and think he's as consistent as Edwin van der Sar. This is a bad side. This side finished second in the Premier League in a year where Liverpool were injury-ridden. Chelsea were in a transition year where they had a bunch of players who had never played in the Premier League before, now learning to play in the Premier League. Leicester should have finished second, but they're coached by Brendan Rodgers, who does not know how to close the deal.
Okay. I realize going on this Premier League now. We're talking about European finals. You say Villarreal the good side?
But see, that helps my point. Villarreal to me is not the greatest side, but they beat Man United because they're a poor side. The only reason they finished second in the Premier League is because of everything else that was going on in the Premier League. Villarreal and Manchester United might actually be on the same level.
I can't argue with you. I don't know no one from Villarreal. But I know a couple from Man United because they have stars. That's my whole point. Stars are going to perform on the big stage.
Cavani is a household name. Cavani's a 100,000-year-old dinosaur. Bruno Fernandes, good player. Not great, not world class. One day he might be, but right now he's just a good player. Rashford, young, inconsistent. David De Gea, inconsistent. I saw someone post something on social media. Fred and McTominay are a world-class midfield pairing. Where? Which generation? Name any world-class midfield pairing that you would take. You would choose Fred and McTominay over. I'm not picking them over Xavi and Iniesta. I'm not picking them over Ronaldinho or Rivaldo.
Man, these are superstars you're talking about. Of course not.
But world class is world class. McTominay, I like McTominay. I think he's a good player. He has some developing to do. Fred could have been in this team in Fergie's era, but guess what? He wouldn't have started. Fred would have been coming off the bench. As far as Pogba goes, I have no issues with Pogba, other than the fact it's not working at United and he needs to leave. Like, who keeps giving this man a contract? He's never had a good season.
But ask me this: do you think another coach would get the best out of this thing?
I don't think it's a good sign. A better coach would get more because he's a better coach, but it still doesn't mean he's gonna.
So back to my original point, I blame this refrain on your coach.
I can't give him all the blame. I think the players are not good enough. This is not a good Manchester United team.
Okay, even the penalties, your argument there.
Because Villarreal also are not that good a team. In this game, Manchester United, after Villarreal had scored and equalized, Manchester United had most of the possession. All the Villarreal players, my apologies, were in the box, in their own half. My United players were attacking through Wan-Bissaka. Wan-Bissaka, who I have to sit down and constantly hear over and over how he's not good because he's too defensive. My argument is that he's a defender, but that's an argument for another day.
A guy brought him up. I forgot about him. Not a quality player.
Wan-Bissaka, I agree he's a quality player. Wan-Bissaka, everyone says, oh, he's not good because he doesn't attack. Okay. So why was he the guy with the ball when you needed a goal? That tells me the team is just not that good enough, and the guy who's such a great defender had to carry the ball forward. Bruno Fernandes, he's supposed to be world class. Where was he? Where was he in the final? I only saw him at the end when he was crying. That's the only time I saw him in the whole game. I saw him twice. He took a penalty, and he was crying at the end when they lost. What I will say, that was a damn good penalty shootout. Those were some top penalties that both sides took. And that was really, it took a goalkeeper to kick a bad penalty. That was a good penalty shootout.
Yeah, that's the best word.
It really was.
Yeah.
It really was. But I disagree with you. I do not think I can blame Solskjaer. I blame the players. I do not think my United team is good enough. I think we overhype the players that are there. I don't think they're that good.
There's my argument to you. If all two teams are bad, I edge it on Man United because of their world-class players. And the reason their players did not perform is because of the coach.
I'm just going to say I disagree. I am super excited with this topic. Champions League final. I called it. I told the world.
Here we go.
I told the world Chelsea were going to win. Not because they're a better team than Man City. They're not a better team than Man City. No. But because... Ready? Pep Guardiola's overrated. A team with no striker in a Champions League final. Oh, Pep is the greatest. Guess what? Mourinho's never lost a Champions League final. Maybe I should say Mourinho's the greatest. Wait! I do say Mourinho's the greatest because Pep is overrated. He proved it when Chelsea beat him in the Champions League final. He has never won a Champions League without his good old friend, his good old pal, Lionel Messi. Did you really think Man City were going to win?
Of course I did. That was a real walking apart from Man City. De Bruyne, Silva, Walker, Stones, that's a whole good side.
Sterling.
Nah, not Sterling, Foden.
Sterling played. He started.
That's his mistake. That's the only thing I give him. That is his mistake. He played Sterling for the whole Champions League, and he played Sterling in the finals.
You know who would have made that mistake?
Who?
Mourinho would have made that
Of
mistake.
course not. He played defensive. That's his tactic.
He would have won.
He would have won only.
But he would have won.
That's not football.
Hey, winning is winning. Okay? Doesn't have to be entertaining. You get paid to win, not to entertain.
This is a Champions League final, sir. That's not defensive.
I'll tell you what. Pep tried to entertain, and he entertained Chelsea fans by giving them a Champions League.
It's not really Chelsea. It's one man really per se. One man called Kante. He is a man that's behind Chelsea. Engine. He should not always have Man City try to do.
Now, I want y'all to listen to this very closely. This is not going to happen too often on this show.
Do you agree with me?
But I agree. I think N'Golo Kante might actually be the greatest holding midfielder of all time. I put him ahead of Makelele and Sergio Busquets, but listen.
He was going super good just now.
Listen.
Before you say Makelele.
If you, I think he's better than Makelele and just above Busquets, because he has been the reason for every time his team won. He's been the reason. France don't win the World Cup without him. Leicester don't win the league without him. When Chelsea won the league, they don't do it without him. And like you just said, they don't win the Champions League without him and Pep Guardiola.
They can't just score the goal.
He stopped whatever team that is that Pep put out there from scoring the goal. Let's be honest, Kante was the best player on that field.
Yeah, Makelele was the captain, right? Once upon a time, right?
And Makelele was a great player.
I don't see Kante ever being a captain.
Makelele was a great player. I mean, Makelele was so good at that they named the position after him. It's called the Makelele role. But I think Kante has surpassed him. I think Kante, the difference between him and Makelele is that Kante is the reason for his team winning. I don't think Makelele was ever the reason for his team's winning. He played well on winning teams, but he wasn't the reason. Kante is the reason, hence why Chelsea or Champions League winners for this is the second time. Well done, Chelsea.
I'll give everyone applause for that.
But I mean, I also got to give Pep a round of applause. Obviously, he supports Chelsea. He just gave them the game. No striker, no quitter.
Yeah, no. Who got that striker in the end?
Doesn't matter, Pep didn't play him.
And then De Bruyne can't get hurt. Of all things.
I don't like to do this to players, professional players, but I watch Rudiger and De Bruyne collision. I think Rudiger has some malicious intent there. I looked at it. That was either a real bad move or a real clumsy tackle. And knowing Rudiger is probably clumsy, but De Bruyne was City's best player, but he is City's best player all around. When he went off, it changed the game. But they're not going to win because N'Golo Kante is a Chelsea player. Pep Guardiola could as well be coaching Chelsea because he helped them so much. I'm not going to.
I would give you this. Pep got the wrong team out. I give you that. Is he overrated? No.
You don't think he's overrated?
No.
I disagree. I strongly disagree. Pep, overrated, has not won a Champions League without Lionel Messi, went to Bayern Munich when Bayern Munich was the best team in Europe at the time, did well, dominated Germany. Bayern Munich doesn't care about dominating Germany. They do that in their sleep. They want to win Champions League. He didn't do it there. He did a great job at Man City. But guess what? Man City got so much money, he could just buy anyone he wants. He could buy anyone he wants.
So what about Chelsea? They don't have money as well?
Yeah, but Chelsea bought a bunch of youngsters who now have to learn not only to play together, but to play in the Premier League. And they also have the problem of playing under two different coaches this season. Two different types of tactics.
We call it a problem, we call it a blessing. But Lampard didn't know what he was doing.
I disagree. I don't think that Lampard was ignorant to managing.
He didn't even want to play Kante.
I think Kante was going through some injury problems. I believe he was going through some injury problems.
Yeah.
But Lampard unfortunately lost his job because this is Chelsea. Results are everything. But Lampard had a young team. He was trying to get the youngsters in, trying to get the youngsters fighting. I hope he gets a job again. I don't think he did that bad of a job. But Tuchel just renewed his contract. I'm looking forward to see him next season as a Champions League winner. I look forward to see Man City next season as Champions League losers. And
Well, at least Chelsea win the Champions League, Man City win the Premier League. They get some consolation.
and Manchester United got their butts whipped in the Europa League.
Enough about football. Time for boxing. The big match. Tyson Fury versus my guy. Say his name.
No, I'm not saying his name. His name does not deserve to be spoken. And what about this is a big match?
This my guy Wilder. Wilder guarantees that he's gonna beat Tyson Fury.
No, I'm not going to speak to you. I'm going to speak to them. Imagine you got in a fight with a guy, and he fractured your eardrum, fractured your skull. After he beat you for about 20 minutes, he sang karaoke. Now, would you want to fight with that man again? Because that's exactly what happened. Fury beat, I'm not ever calling that man's name, beat whatever his name is, fractured his eardrum, fractured his skull, sang after he beat him.
That's the reason he deserves to get his ass booked.
It won't happen. Why? Tyson Fury is the best heavyweight fighter of this time. The best.
I disagree.
How? How could you disagree with that undefeated champion who beat your guy? Your guy whose name I will not call. Call his name so that people know. Call his name.
Wilder.
He beat your guy. He put your guy in the hospital.
Bomb squad.
And he still wants to come back for another whooping. I don't understand it.
First time, second time, third time the charm.
The first fight, Tyson Fury was under the weather. And it drew. The second fight, Tyson Fury was 100%.
Wait, it drew?
It drew.
Oh, did the referee give a slow count?
No.
Oh!
No.
Oh my God, give him that.
No.
Oh my God, give him that punch. There was no getting up for that. Was the next night.
No, he got up. He got
The
up.
referee made sure he got up.
Actually, I watched over that fight, and I think that referee should be fined because that count was a little fast to me. It was a little fast. I think he wanted your guy to
I
win.
disagree with that again.
I think he wanted your guy to win. I know he counted a little fast.
No.
I watched boxing for years. It's always 1, 2. He went 1, 2, 3.
No.
It was a little fast count. But Fury's so good, he got up. You try to cheat, he gets right back up. I don't want to see Fury versus your guy. I want to see Fury face someone else. I want to see Fury face the chump. Anthony Chump Joshua.
How can you say that chump name?
I want him to face him. That fraud of a champion. That guy who, what makes me laugh about Joshua is that he always, when him and Fury are supposed to fight each other, he's always, oh yes, I like Fury, I respect Fury. When something happens and the fight's called off, I hate Fury, I'm gonna knock him out. No, when you want to fight, when you gotta fight a guy, you're nice to him. When the fight's called off, all of a sudden you're a bad guy now. Anthony Joshua does not want to fight Tyson Fury because he knows Tyson Fury is the best. He saw what Tyson Fury did to your guy. He's about to see what Tyson Fury's going to do to your guy again. Anthony Joshua is at home praying that Tyson Fury gets injured in this next match so he doesn't have to fight him.
You don't agree with that. Because Tyson Fury will not be facing him. Whoever wins this fight will face Joshua.
Which will be Tyson
But
Fury.
right now, as I heard, Joshua doesn't want to face my guy, even if he wins. Because he's that much scared of my guy. But he'd rather fight Tyson Fury.
He doesn't even want to fight Fury. He's been running from real competitors. I mean, he wanted that Andy Ruiz fight. He won that fight. He got beat. He had to go back and fight again for his title. Do you think Andy Ruiz could have beaten Tyson Fury?
Nah.
Do you think he could have beaten your guy?
Nah.
I don't see it happening either. I would rather watch Anthony Joshua versus your guy. I think your guy would win, But I think it'll be a closer fight because Tyson Fury will just mop the floor with Anthony Joshua.
So let me say this here. When my guy beat Tyson Fury,
It's not gonna happen. Not gonna happen.
when my guy beat Tyson Fury,
I disagree.
you will be here, come back on the show, and you will say my guy's name and give him his props.
If, for some reason, the Lord falls asleep and allow your guy to do something that should never happen and win and beat Tyson Fury, I will call his name. I would even scream Bomb Squad or whatever that nonsense is on this show if he manages to do it. But he's not going to do it, so that's not going to happen. Tyson Fury is the best heavyweight fighter of this generation.
I disagree. Let's bring it back to local cricket.
Mm-hmm. So we're going with this one.
We are going with who do you think needs to perform more?
This upcoming test series,
Yeah.
West Indies versus South Africa.
Yeah.
You want my opinion first?
Yeah, that's good.
Now, who I think needs a good series, the two guys who I think need a very good series in this upcoming tour. Craig Baffert. He's a captain. His average is way below his talent. He's a better batsman than his average says. He scored 100 against Sri Lanka. Okay. Well done. But let's not act like Sri Lanka's a good team. Let's not pretend like Sri Lanka's a fantastic team.
I disagree with you there. Sri Lanka is like, back in the day, was one of the top sides.
I'm talking about today, right now. Sri Lanka.
Sri Lanka just had a bad series against the West Indies.
No, Sri Lanka's a bottom team now. They're in a rebuild stage. They're a bottom team. They're not. Craig scored 100. I'm happy he scored 100 in that series. But I think he needs to perform in this series. He's captain. Like I said, his average isn't that good. It should be better. But the other guy that needs a good series, the guy that needs a good series in front of everyone else is the big guy, the super nice guy, the gentleman of the squad, Jason Holder,
I thought we were going to call him.
the former captain. And I do not like criticizing Mr. Holder because I've met him a couple of times. He's a decent guy. But he lacks fire. He lacks aggression. And you know what it is? You know what it is? I think his mother did, wait on it, too good of a job raising him. Sounds ridiculous, right? Yeah, how could she do too good of a job, right? He's too nice. He's a fast bowler. Fast bowlers are supposed to be nice. I mean, he's a fast bowler with the ability to score hundreds. He shouldn't be a nice guy. I can understand when he was captain being a nice guy. He just lost the captaincy. He didn't have a great series against Sri Lanka. You got to come back. You got to be angry. You got to be upset that you're no longer captain. When Jason Holder made the West Indies team, he was promising he's supposed to be one of the biggest players at some point in time. It's never happened. Now is the time. He needs this series. He needs to prove to the world that he is everything he promised to be. He needs to call his mama up and say, Mama, thank you, but you shouldn't watch this game. Because I'm not going to be the boy you raised. I'm going to be an evil man today. I'm going to be a bad man. I'm going to bowl faster. I'm going to bat more aggressively. I'm going to get into people's faces. I'm going to talk to people. I'm going to bad talk people. I am going to perform. I think Jason and Craig need this series more than any other players on the West Indies team.
I disagree. And I tell you why I disagree. The people that I feel need this series more is he's supposed to be called the next Brian Lara. You know what we're going with? Darren Bravo. This guy should perform better than what he's performing right now. Right now this guy scored 100. I think last series, right? But his average was poor. He nearly cost us that game.
I disagree. But this is why I disagree with you. Not the fact that Darren Bravo does need a good series. because he was built up as the next Brian Lara. You're right about that. He does need a good series, but I don't think it's as important as Craig and Holder. I don't think he needs it as bad as them. Because
I believe if Bravo don't have a good series, he may get a job. And when he get a job, you don't see him again.
But guess what? I think West Indies can survive without Darren.
I disagree.
I think they can survive without Bravo. I don't know if they can survive without Craig Bradford.
Of course we can.
Because he's the captain. The captain needs to lead from the front. And look, you just dropped Jason Holder as captain. You made this guy captain. What that tells me is you didn't have any other choices. You don't make a guy who's struggling to make runs captain if you got choices.
Don't get me wrong. I like Craig Bradford. But he was not going to be my captain. I would have gonna give the next guy that I think that made the series more. Shea Hope. He to me should be next for Rakoli. He just needs to be more consistent. He have a potential, you can see it. But then he just like he lost focus and in key moments. Hit a rash shot for trying to hit a six, hit a rash shot and get a catch. You need to just settle down, back, support your teammates, and see it through. He should be the next captain.
Okay. I'm going to say this as slowly as I can. Slowly as I can, because obviously you don't watch or have ever played cricket at any level. Shea Hope, and I want you to look at me when I say this. Shea Hope could not have been captain. Because Sri Lanka one-day team, the one-day team that faced Sri Lanka, was him just getting back into the team. You're not going to give him captaincy as he just got back into the team. Does he need a good series? Yes, he needs to prove that he's consistent. But guess what? I'm not worried about Shea Hope. I think Shea Hope will have a good series. I never worry about Shea Hope. Actually, I'm surprised when he doesn't make runs. You compare him to Kohli, I think that's a stretch. I don't think anyone is Kohli. But I think Shea Hope can be the next world-class player out of the West Indies. So I'm not worried about him. Even if he has a bad series, I think he'll bounce back. I don't think he will have a bad series.
But I feel in the fans I'm talking about, they really look at Shea Hope, they expect him to score runs. If he don't perform, they will want his head. Because that's the Africa we're talking about. We need to do something to qualify for the World Cup. We need his points. So you need your guy, Shea Hope, to perform.
Yeah. Yes. See, they gotta beat South Africa qualify for the World Cup. That's the one-day series. I think the first series is the test series, if I'm not mistaken. That's the test series. Shea, the fans. This is the thing about the fans. And I love the fans. This is the thing about the fans. A lot of fans didn't think Roston Shea should have made the West Indies team. He's done pretty well since being there. A lot of fans didn't think Carl Mayer should have made the West Indies team. He's done pretty well since being there. I'm not insulting the fans, I'm just saying the fans are not always right. And Shea, I don't have a problem with Shea. I think Shea is a fantastic cricketer who went through a bad patch. I mean, the man stopped Sir Gary Sobers to help him get over his bad patch. He stopped the greatest cricketer of all time to help him get over his bad patch. That's a guy who's working on his game. I'm not worried about him. Darren Bravo, if he gets dropped, I don't think the West Indies miss him. I don't think he's ever provided anything that we needed.
I disagree.
I think he's a top player, or he has potential to be a top player. But he's not done anything to make me say, oh, we need him. I think we need Craig to do well as a leader, and we need Jason Holder, who came. You know what Jason Holder is becoming? Kwame Brown. Jason Holder is coming in with so much promise, but I think it's fair to say Jason might be here's that word Kwame doesn't like, he might be a bust.
Nah, I disagree. How?
He might be a bust. Listen, what has he done compared to the promise that he came in with? He's had great performances. I think at one point in time he was the #1 all-rounder for a short period of time. But the promise he came in with, he was supposed to be the man, the guy. He was supposed to be the world-class player of this generation. He's not done that. He needs this series. He just lost the captaincy. He needs to do well in this series to prove to the world that he can still be the guy. If he doesn't do it in this series, I think we need to sit down and say Jason Holder has failed. He's a bust, and Mama's seasoning and Mama's cooking just ain't working.
I disagree. I think he could bounce back from this series. He could go choose a little average. Yeah, there'll be more series, but I think for sheer confidence, he needs this. And then above all, imagine you get bad Nets with Brian Lara. We need him to perform. You know, you see Lara back in the day against Southampton?
Listen,
if we get against that, if we get Darren Bravo, imagine.
First of all, you still think that Darren Bravo is going to be the next Brian Lara. You are out of your mind. I think by now we need to understand that that's not going to happen. Wanna know why it's not going to happen? First of all, he's just not as good as Lara. But guess what? That's okay. There's not much people on that level. But if you drop short of that, you should at least be a Shea Hope. Shea Hope is no Brian Lara, but I'll trust Shea Hope in those times. I trust Shea Hope. I don't trust Bravo. When the game's on the line and you see Bravo batting, are you comfortable? I'm not comfortable. I'm more comfortable when I see Hope. This is why Bravo's never been consistent. Hope has had consistent runs. He's just coming off of a bad run. He scored runs in one international game. This is going to be his first test since then. I have no problem with Hope. I think Hope is going to bounce back. I don't question Hope. I don't think West Indies need Darren Bravo because he's not that important. They need Craig because he's the captain, so they need him to do well. Holder came in with all this promise. And like I said, if he does not play well against South Africa, we need to be looking at Holder as a disappointment.
So every place, we don't need Darren Bravo. So every place Darren Bravo, who will you put?
If I replace Darren Bravo, who do I replace Darren Bravo with? That's the question that's being asked to me today. Well, I'll tell you what. Shamar Holder, fastball, is injured, so he's out of this squad. Jason Seals took his place. I would bring in the extra bowler, Shamar Holder, when he's fit. I don't think we need that batsman because we got all the batsmen we need.
I disagree.